Welcome to Civ 7 Stories, where we explore alternatives to history through the lens of the world's most addictive video game. Games are played on Deity, no challenges. Generally, I don't use mods or game modes, and for games of Civ 7, I specifically turn the crisis mode off, since it's stupid. A great game is epic and tells a story. It has a history, all condensed down into 20 minutes. Along the way, you can learn tips and tricks on how to be a better Civ player, as well as strategies on how to play specific civilizations. Today I have the pleasure to tell the first ever alternative history as told through the lens of Civilization VII, where I played as Xerxes of, let's just say undefined, because that's what Civ 7 seems to be about. Mementos are a thing in Civ 7, and we chose Imago Mundi for better scouting abilities and Antiquity Mechanism for a free scientific attribute point. Most of the guesswork is taken out of founding your capital in Civ 7, so we settled in place, founding the city of Parsa since we chose to lead the Persians. In 3950 BC, my scouting advantage paid off as I discovered that Mount Kilimanjaro was nearby. In 3775 BC, we met Catherine of Greece. In 3750 BC, we chose despotism as our Antiquity Age government. 100 years later, we met Napoleon of the Han. Because the game doesn't automatically allow you to add your mementos, when one of them involves adding an attribute point, Persians spent the first 350 years of their existence not benefiting from the +1 science on their palace and city halls to which they were entitled. In 3575 BC, we met Himiko of the Khmer. In 3525 BC, we met Ibn Battuta of the Aksumite. In 3350 BC, after our discovery of mysticism, we chose stone circles as our pantheon. Was an independent power on the edge of the Han Empire. We decided that this was where our stored influence points should go, and in 3275 BC, put ourselves on track to befriend them. That same year, we founded our second settlement, Pathragada. By 3100 BC, I had enough saved influence after meeting the independent power of Ofunado that I decided I would try to befriend them. That same year, I dispersed the hostile Yilan tribe. Greeks were beginning to occupy lands that ought to have been Persian. Since a hostile takeover would be necessary, it was time to use influence to hinder their military production. In 2975 BC, we founded our third settlement, Tarsus. In 2900 BC, for befriending the independent power of I received a codex to display. There was now a clear line of sight between our growing army and the Greek city of Thebai. In 2825 BC, we declared war on Catherine and the Greeks. We caught them by surprise, and moments later, we captured the town. With the citizens of Thebai subdued and a garrison left along the road between it and Greece, controlling the navigable river between our capital and the town of Knossos became of paramount importance. Our forces successfully forded the river and took up positions around the town. In 2425 BC, Persian troops captured Knossos. After capturing both Thebai and Knossos in peace negotiations, Catherine threw in the city of Sparta and accepted to end the war. In 2325 BC, seeing Sparta as a key settlement in our expanding empire and a place that could house and make use of vital resources, it was decided to upgrade the conquered settlement to a city. In 2225 BC, Persia built the Gate of All Nations in the city of Parsa. For befriending the independent power of Gungnai, in 2150 BC, we received a gemstones reward adding lapis lazuli to the resources within our empire. By 2100 BC, Persia now had the Gate of All Nations and had upgraded its swordsmen to immortals. They were ready for war again and declared war on Catherine and their old enemy, the Greeks. In 2025 BC, Persian forces captured the Greek capital city of Athens, eliminating Catherine from the game. See what happens to history when there's no Alexander the Great to lead Greece? In 1960 BC, we built the pyramids in the city of Parsa. In 1860 BC, for no particular reason, Ibn Battuta and Himiko declared war on us. After defeating Catherine, we felt like top dogs, so we didn't mind. Aksumite troops made an assault on the former Greek city of Thebai, but we had more than enough troops to fend them off. In 1780 BC, Persian administrators upgraded the former Greek capital, Athens, to a city. By 1740 BC, the fields around Thebai were cleared of enemy troops. It was time for the Persian army to march forward in search of cities to conquer once again. By 1620 BC, the Khmer had halted our advance upon Mahendraparvata, which prompted a retreat. Narrative events in the game kept feeding immortals into the Persian army, which meant that a second offensive wave was on its way. The fighting along the river between Thebai and Mahendraparvata was intense, and then the Antiquity Age just kinda ended very quickly in 1460 BC. Napoleon was busy allocating resources, Himiko displayed a lot of codices and housed a lot of wonders, Ibn Battuta kinda stood around and did nothing, and Catherine was lost to history. We did okay when it came to conquering the world, which is the most important of the victory conditions. Himiko might have a lot of wonders, but those would belong to us someday. Oh, and then the game quit. Xerxes unlocked a number of Exploration Age Civ options, but in the end we decided that Persia should evolve into Mongolia. We kept Parsa as our capital and were able to choose several attribute points. 2,000 years had mysteriously gone by without anything to talk about. Starting a new age is awkward. All of our wars were finished, but we were pretty sure we hated Himiko, who was now leading the... not sure. We'll find out later. We chose feudal monarchy as our celebratory government. We didn't wait long. We saw one of Himiko's generals out in the open and declared war. Oh, and she was now leading the Majapahit. A couple of turns later, in 430 AD, Ibn Battuta, now leading the... not sure, declared war on us. Napoleon, now leading the Ming, was being cool though, and we formed an alliance. Because during the age change, the once great city of Athens, the former capital of the ancient Greek Empire, went back to being just a lowly town, in 450 AD, Mongolian administrators deemed it worthy of investing the 200 gold to make it a city again. In 510 AD, our hordes of mounted Keshig horse archers stormed into the city of Mahendraparvata and captured the town. Himiko was willing to surrender her former capital city of Yasodharapura in a peace deal. Declaring peace just seemed easier than taking it by force. First order of business, since it was surrendered in a peace deal, was to upgrade Yasodharapura into a city like it deserved. Also that year, it was time to establish a religion. I always name my religion after my girlfriend because if I didn't, she'd kill me. We chose Brahmanism as our reliquary belief and interfaith dialogue as our founder belief. By now, people were really excited and initiated a celebration in 530 AD. 10 years later, our Keshigs dispersed the independent power of Medina. In 600 AD, Mongolians founded the town of Kobdo, extending their dominion over the homeland continent from coast to coast. In 610 AD, venturing where few had ever traveled, we discovered the islands in the ocean, distant lands, including the island volcano of Thera. 10 years later, we discovered that another civilization was also venturing out into the deep seas. We met Niccolo Machiavelli of the Inca. Without so much as even drawing swords, Ibn Battuta came to us to end the war and included the town of Saba in his peace package. We can't say no to that. In 660 AD, Mongolia added scripture as their enhancer belief. Also that year, Mongolians dispersed the independent power of Kiev. By 680, we were smashing the religion game, having already collected and displayed 6 relics. In 690, we met Charlemagne of the Songhai, who had already begun to populate distant islands off the west coast of our homeland. In 740 AD, Mongolians founded the island town of Dulan Boldog, a colony in the distant lands for the sole purpose of returning treasure fleets to the homeland. Getting all the conditions right to make that happen, though, is a bit of a mystery. By 800 AD, the main force of our army was all healed up and ready to go. Time to scratch that itch. Himiko, you're in the way. 10 years later, Ibn Battuta declared war on us. In 820 AD, Mongolian forces captured the Majapahit capital city of Wilwakikta. Also that year, we met another leader of a civilization from the distant lands, Friedrich II of Spain. A bit of credit to the Majapahit, although it was futile, they did make an assault on Athens. They would have been better off defending Lingapura, which fell in 840 AD, eliminating Himiko from the game and making her towns and cities a province of the Persian-Mongol Empire. Missionaries can claim goody huts. Okie doke, I think they ought to patch that. In 880 AD, because there were treasure resources in the vicinity that we wanted our people to have access to, Mongolian forces dispersed the independent power of Waitu Kabuli. In 890 AD, Mongolians founded the colony of Ulyatstai. The former Aksumite city of Taekwondo fell with little fuss and became part of the Mongol Empire in 930 AD. In 980 AD, Mongolian forces dispersed the independent power of Ngulugmapu. In 990 AD, Machiavelli declared war on us for no real reason. In 1040 AD, the Mongolian horde swept into the land of the Abbasids and captured the city of Baghdad. In 1100 AD, Mongolian troops captured the Aksumite capital of Aksum and eliminated Ibn Battuta from the game. In the Exploration Age, Mongols had forever defeated Himiko and the Kamai Majapahit and Ibn Battuta of the Aksumite Abbasids, all without siegecraft. Go Keshiks! We were now the dominant power on the homelands, sharing our continent with only Napoleon and the... who were our good friends. In 1140 AD, we built the House of Wisdom in the city of Parsa. By then, most of the Charlemagne's towns and cities felt like they were just in the way and that they should be Mongolian, so we declared war. Also that year, Mongols founded their first settlement on the far continent and named it Altai. From this tiny outpost, we were determined to take over the distant lands. Kudos to Friedrich for reading the political terrain. He declared war on us the very next turn. In 1160, our Western fleet captured the Songhai island town of Kumbisale, which helped us complete our second Exploration Age legacy path. By 1165, the Songhai fleet had captured our treasure town of Dulan Buldog. I guess a setback or two is inevitable, but not to worry, our army was the dominant force on the planet. In 1170, Mongolians founded Kuri on an eastern island between the homeland and the distant lands. In 1180 AD, a single Carrack acting as our eastern fleet recaptured the treasure town of Dulan Buldog. Using the mighty navigable Nile River, our fleet and our intercontinental army laid siege to the former Egyptian capital city of Waset. In 1195, Friedrich came to us looking to make peace. I asked for Ollantaytampu in the peace proposal and he was cool with it. We were now well over our settlement cap, but no biggie. In 1200 AD, the once great Egyptian capital city of antiquity, Waset, was captured by the Mongols. It would open a gateway to controlling all of the distant lands. Forces of the Mongols and Inca met along the border of Waset and the twin towns of Antawaya and Wilkawaman in 1210 AD, with Xerxes' Mongol horde overwhelming Machiavelli's troops. Our western fleet continued up the Nile to lay siege upon the Incan town of Sausa. In 1220 AD, Mongolian forces captured the town of Wilkawaman. In 1230 AD, they captured the town of Antawaya. That same year, the fleet captured the town of Sausa by the mountains that feed the Nile River. We had long since crossed our target for our military legacy path, but now we had a real foothold on the distant lands continent, not to mention almost 25,000 gold saved up in the bank. Think of what I'd be able to do with all of that money in the modern age. By 1240 AD, our forces were laying siege to the Songhai capital city of Gao. In 1245 AD, we built the wonder Erdenezu in our capital city of Parsa. At the end of that year, the exploration age came to an end. I was close to seizing the Songhai capital city. I was generating 359 science, 445 culture, and 723 gold per turn, with over 25,000 gold saved up going into the modern age. This was a throwdown. Mongols had basically conquered the age of exploration. Xerxes topped all of the age rankings, although nobody did anything noteworthy scientifically. Yeah, keep the world stupid. The game echoes reality. We had a lot of options when choosing our modern age civilization, but decided on Prussia. 500 years elapsed without a whisper and nothing of historical note. The World Bank, or whoever, cut our treasury from 25,000 gold to just under 4,000. We moved our capital city from Parsa to the former Khmer capital city of Yesodaharapura and renamed it Berlin. Starting out in this age, and we were already 3 settlements over our limit. Athenai went back to being a town, so we immediately got our Prussian administrators to sort that out and upgraded it to a city. Again, just stay a city, Athenai. After an errant click, I purchased another army commander, and we upgraded Lingapura to a city as well. We also upgraded Axum, and after it all, we were down to 350 gold left in our treasury. So many resources to sort out, not enough places to house them all, and so many upset citizens. But somehow, over 200 empire-wide happiness. I don't know. After leaving the last age with as many as 9 policy slots, we were now back down to only 3. Whatever happened in those 500 mysterious years, it was pretty rough. For our modern age government, we chose elective republic. By turn 2, we upgraded the former Egyptian capital city of Waset to a city. By 1754, we felt ready to pick up where we left off, and though it had been 500 years, we don't forget and we declared war on Charlemagne and the Bugandan people. The game had been feeling too easy, so much so that I had to check the settings to make sure I was really playing on Deity. In 1758, we dispersed the independent power of Pahasapa. They were just going to get in our way. In 1762, we dispersed the independent power of Marrakesh. Again, just in the way. In 1764, our troops, who are we again? Prussia, captured the former Songhai. We took Charlemagne's former capital city of Gao. By 1770, our fleet arrived in the distant lands. It was time to storm the Bugandan capital city of Kampala. We hit them hard and fast and took the city that year. In 1771, we renewed our alliance with Napoleon. We were kindred spirits. We saw ourselves as one people sharing one continent, both determined to take over the world. That same year, Prussians founded the town of Hamburg in a strategic position in the distant lands. It would become a staging area for the eventual invasion of Machiavelli and, the Siamese? Also that year, Prussian troops captured the Bugandan port town of Katsina. In 1778, they captured the new Bugandan capital city of Chichen Itza. In 1781, we befriended the independent power of Munich and chose professional architects. Also that year, we went on a bit of a rail station buying spree as Parsa and Athenai both got rail stations. Also that year, our fleet captured the Bugandan island treasure town of Kukia. In 1784, Waset got its rail station. In 1785, our fleet captured the Bugandan coastal town of Tendirma. By now, it was time to start punishing Machiavelli for simply being in this game. His attitude toward me had softened, though. In order to get a good war going, we needed to denounce him first. In 1787, Mahendra Parvata got its rail station. Lingapura got theirs that same year. In 1788, hoping to disperse the independent power of Pangsang, because Charlemagne was its suzerain, we captured the settlement instead. Wanting nothing to do with it, and no longer really caring about the consequences, we decided that this would be a place that could just be razed to the ground. Because, you see, consequences are less severe as you progress into modernity. The game's ending soon, so you don't need to live long with whatever the consequences are. You know, no biggie. Oh, and Machiavelli hates me now. That's good. Let's go to war. Are you laughing at me, bro? By that year, Charlemagne had taken back Kukia without my even noticing. Oh, Charlemagne, you funny guy, trying to survive and all. Hilarious! By 1789, Kukia was Mongolian again. I mean Prussian. So very, very Prussian. After becoming suzerain of Addis Ababa, we chose their anthropology bonus. In 1792, Axum, even while being senselessly attacked by the independent power of Ideslunaka, got its rail station. In 1793, my Western fleet captured Buganda's island town of Tadmeka. In 1797, Prussia captured the Blue Machiavelli's town called Nakhon Si Thammarat, which, come on, had been settled in a place where he was just asking for me to go to war. The next year, my fleet captured the island town of Kumbisali, ending the game for Charlemagne. Also that year, Prussian forces captured the former Incan capital city of Cusco. As we started to try and make headway in the railroad tycoon win condition, we went on a bit of a spending spree building factories and railroads in 1798. Thabai got a rail station and Parsa and Athenai both got factories, paid for from my overflowing gold surplus. Arranging those factory resources was a whole other matter, a little tedious. Kind of like theming the great works and artifacts in the theater squares. In order to increase the size of our network, Chichen Itza was upgraded to a city. In 1799, Oxford University was built in Berlin. In 1802, Prussian troops captured Ratchaburi. In 1805, Brandenburg Gate was built in Berlin. How fitting. Also that year, Prussian troops dispersed the independent power of Helsinki. And, moments later, Prussian troops captured the legendary Mayan city of Ba'ak. In 1808, the Red Fort was built in the city of Waset. We didn't need to, I still don't know what it does, but by now my empire was so large and powerful I figured, hey, oh, why not? In 1817, Prussian forces captured the Siamese capital city of Krung Thep, eliminating Machiavelli from the game. Only 2 rivals left, and one of them was our best bud. By 1820, it was time to declare war on Friedrich of the Mexicans. Wait, I'm who now? Xerxes of the Prussians? Oh boy, it's fine.
This is
totally fine. By 1821, I had completed the Railroad Tycoon legacy path, but how to build the World Bank? Also that year, Kampala was converted into a city. At the same time, because I was now chasing this economic victory condition and befuddled about how to get over the line, Wilwakikta got a rail station and a factory and was upgraded to a city. Also that year, a great banker showed up in my capital, so I had to go learn what that was all about. I got a bit obsessed with the whole economic win condition and it brought out my OCD. In 1822, our great banker established a World Bank office in Paris. In 1824, Prussian troops captured the city of Katana. Also that year, our great banker established an office of the World Bank in the Ciudad de Mexico while it was under siege by our Prussian forces. As there were so few rivals left, that was it. The World Bank was officially established and the game ended. So, what did I learn? Civ developers wanted to take away the grind of the late game, and boy did they succeed. In Civ 7, the game just kinda ends. Winning in Civ 7, and an end screen told me that I was victorious, has the emotional impact of completely siphoning a leaky faucet. In previous Civ games, if I was playing on the right difficulty level, I would get to the end and feel exasperated at what I had just accomplished. I'd often need to lie down. In Civ 7, the game ends, I fetch a snack and just carry on with my day like I'd just taken a moderately satisfying dump. The economic legacy path, or victory condition, is actually a domination legacy path. No matter how aggressive you are militarily, you don't really build military legacy points in the modern age until you settle on an ideology. But the bigger and wider you grow your empire, the more cities you can have with more rail stations and factories with more resources to display, which compounds the number of railroad tycoon points you can accumulate. Hence why, when my OCD kicked in, I raced to economic victory instead of military victory. Moreover, with so few leaders, notice I don't say civs, left in the game, there were less capital cities that need to have a World Bank office established by my great banker. Friedrich's capital was under siege and about to fall when I activated my great banker that ended the game. One wonders if my troops had captured Ciudad de Mexico if the game would have ended or the capital moved to another town. This was my first time playing on Deity. I played a couple of games on easier levels as I got to know the new mechanics, but this was the first time I tried playing on the hardest difficulty, and I actually had the easiest time winning. It could have been that I finally had a handle on what I was doing. It could be because of the civilizations I chose for each age. It could be just because I was Xerxes. Maybe it was luck. But gosh darn, was this game not much of a challenge. I'll admit that I have started playing another game since the 1.1.1 patch came out, and the AI has put up more of a resistance, which is nice. Hopefully Civ 7 gets to a point where the highest difficulty is challenging enough to separate great Civ players from casual gamers. About Xerxes as a leader, or the specific civs that I played as or against, I have little to say. The Immortal and my Keshigs kicked some serious ass, but I don't think I built a single hussar. Didn't need them. Unique buildings? Barely noticed. Quarters are important, but I've never had a problem getting good yields. I went way over my settlement limit, but never suffered any real setbacks for doing so. Anyway, in the end, I was victorious. I want to say that I built an empire to stand the test of time, but really I just threw down some layers. I hope at least that those layers made for a compelling history. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to keep playing and making your own civilization stories, your own amazing paths through history, and I'll see you next time.